My wife has been missing for 15 years until she called my phone out of the blue. I don't like to talk about what happened 15 years ago. I don't even like to think about the fact that on January the 7th, 2008, Sarah Collins, beloved member of the community, left home to run an errand and was then never seen again.
Love that.
Whoa.
It was a huge case back then, and everyone seemed to want to know what happened to her, but no one was more desperate for answers than I was. Sarah and I had been married for 5 years. I knew as soon as I met her that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. She had one of those smiles that just lit up a room. That's why it was so hard to believe that such a beautiful, successful woman had seemingly disappeared. They hadn't even recovered her body. 15 years later, they still didn't have a shred of evidence. Not a tyre track or a fingerprint, nothing. The police put out an appeal, but no one came forward. Somehow not a single person had seen her. It was like she just vanished without a trace. I think about Sarah a lot. I can never quite bring myself to take down the photos of her from around the house. Sarah's bright face still smiles down at me from every room. There's one photo of her from our wedding day that I really love. Looking at it is like looking straight at her. It captured her perfectly. 2 days ago, I found myself staring at it, really getting lost in the details. Her eyes, the way the corners of her mouth were lifting into a smile, the small dimple on her left cheek. I was looking at it so intently that I almost didn't notice the phone ringing. It was the landline phone, which was odd because no one ever called me on the landline anymore. It was all mobiles nowadays. When I looked at the caller ID, it was an unknown number. I shrugged and picked it up anyway. It was probably just the bank calling to confirm something. The call took a moment to connect, but when it did, I heard a strange rustling sound on the other end of the line. Hello? I wasn't in the mood for any prank callers. Is anyone there? Hello? Daniel?
Oh.
Daniel, thank goodness I finally reached you. The voice on the other end of the line was a woman's voice. It was shaking and breathless. Daniel, it's me. It's Sarah. Are you there? When I heard her name, it was like my heart had stopped beating for a moment. Sarah. My Sarah. But that was impossible. Sarah had gone missing. 15 years ago, whoever this was not my wife. I don't know who you are, but you're not Sarah, I hissed into the phone coldly. Stop calling this number. I dealt with a lot of these calls, especially when Sarah first went missing. Con artists, fraudsters, anyone who wanted to manipulate a grieving husband. I knew none of them were my wife. No, Daniel, wait, you have to listen to me. It is me. It's Sarah. You have to believe me. She was sounding shrill and desperate now, even a little hysterical. The lengths that people go to in order to sell a lie is astonishing. Why are you doing this? I asked angrily. It's been 15 years since my wife disappeared. What do you want from me? For a moment, the woman on the other end of the line didn't respond. I was beginning to think that the call had disconnected when she finally spoke. Daniel, please, it's me. It's your wife, Sarah, the woman begged. I'm telling the truth. It's me, she continued to plead, but I'd had enough. I wasn't going to listen anymore. Don't call this number again, I firmly told her, hanging up. I thought that would do it. She wouldn't be likely to call me again, and I assumed it was all over. The next day, I had asked a friend to help me repair my plumbing system. He was a good friend. I'd known him since college. He'd been there for me when Sarah disappeared, getting me through it. We were both taking a break, catching up on the important events in each other's lives when my landline phone began to ring again. Sorry, I have to take this. It might be important, I said. I noticed the call was from an unknown number, just as it had been the day before. I didn't make a connection right away. After all, it could have been the bank this time round. Picked up the phone. I heard the same rustling sound.
Mm-hmm.
It was unsettling in a strange way. I almost felt like I'd heard it before. I couldn't put my finger on it. Hello? I told you not to call this number, Daniel.
Oh.
Daniel, thank goodness I finally reached you. It's me, Sarah. Are you there? It was undoubtedly the same woman. I don't have time for this. I know you're not Sarah. Stop calling me. Who was that? He asked me. I heard you saying Sarah's name. Is everything okay? It was just a prank caller trying to pretend to be Sarah, I told him, rolling my eyes. I thought that I'd left it all behind. I even changed my phone number. I don't know how this woman got hold of my new one. Pretending to be Sarah? My friend echoed. That's really strange. Did you tell anyone about it, like the police? No. There's no need. It's just someone trying to cause a bit of drama. They probably want money or something like that. I didn't want to continue talking about it, bringing up harmful reminders of the past. I woke up the next day not expecting to get any more calls from the unknown number. I made it very clear that I wouldn't be participating in her charade. However, I was quickly proven wrong. As soon as I started to walk downstairs for a glass of water, the phone rang again. I thought about letting it ring, but I had a better idea. I was going to issue a much stronger warning to the caller.
Or just listen.
Just
Yeah,
listen.
yeah,
Or just listen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Imagine being like kidnapped or something, calling your husband and being like, "Fuck off."
You'd be like, I'm in danger. Like, come rescue me. I picked up the phone, hearing the very same eerie rustling. I couldn't explain it, but it made a shiver run up my spine. Finally, the call connected. It was the same as the other times, the same pathetic monologue. Daniel? Daniel, thank goodness I finally reached you. Daniel, it's me. Sarah, are you there? If you don't stop calling this number, I'll have no choice but to involve the police. This is harassment. If you want my money, try conning someone else. Before I could give the woman on the other line a chance to answer, I hung up the call. Hopefully this would show her that she wouldn't be manipulating me. I could see right through her elaborate scam. I was sure that my warning would stop the calls coming in. I was so sure of myself that when I was woken by a loud, persistent ringing sound the next morning, I didn't even think to connect it to the unknown number calls. I first assumed it was my alarm waking me up, but when I turned to look, I saw that the alarm hadn't gone off yet. That was when I reached the conclusion it was the landline phone again. I rushed down the stairs, wanting to tell the caller that I would be taking police action. I got down there in time and I picked up the phone. Holding it to my ear, I heard the creepy rustling sound. It made my heart beat faster. Daniel? Daniel, thank goodness I finally reached you. Daniel, it's me. Sarah, are you there? I gave you a warning. I said that if you called again, I'd take legal action. You've gone too far now. I have to do something about this. I waited for the woman to respond. Daniel? It's me. I'm not lying to you. I'd never lie to you. Daniel, it's me, Sarah, your wife. It's me. You're not Sarah, I told her bitterly. I know you're not Sarah. I will be taking action. Goodbye. I know that woman wasn't Sarah. I know for a fact she wasn't. I know it because on January the 7th...
He killed Sarah.
He killed her.
2008, Sarah Collins, beloved member of the community, was killed, and I was the one who killed her.
Plot twist.
Okay, I did not see that one coming.
Yeah,
Good.
Sarah was... Shook F.
Shook her to
We
the
are
core.
shook F.
I can't lie, I did not see that coming.
Fucking hell.
Sarah was an
Wow.
incredibly beautiful woman. I couldn't believe my luck when she first started showing interest in me. I didn't exactly have a lot of experience when talking to women, and I was ecstatic that someone like Sarah had chosen someone like me. Sarah, my Sarah, was planning to leave me for him. I couldn't have that. She was so beautiful, so bright, so full of life. I couldn't lose her. I just couldn't lose her, so I killed her. I didn't have to think about it for long. It was the only way she would be mine, only mine forever. If she was dead, she'd never leave me. She'd always be my Sarah.
man.
And when the police arrived, I made up an elaborate lie that she'd gone out to run an errand and never came home. The very same lie ended up on the headlines of national news. I didn't know if I'd even get away with it, but a year passed, then another year, and then another. 15 years passed, and no one ever saw through me. I was about to walk back upstairs when I heard tapping at the window. The sound of a window opening, and that's when I heard it rustling right there in my house. Rustling that paralysed me with fear and sent my mind into a panic. And then I heard it. Daniel?
It's me, Sarah.
It's me, Sarah.
Thank God I finally
You
got
there?
to you.
If that was...
The end.
Oh, very good.
So, how's that baby brewing up? Harry asked while pouring everyone a glass of wine, except me. He's been playing a lot of soccer in there, I'll tell you that, I answered, laughing and placing my hands on the belly. Hopefully he'll get out soon enough. Harry chuckled, and he and my husband got back to discussing whatever detail was left in the production's calendar. Tanya, Harry's wife, on the other hand, didn't laugh at all. She stared at me with a blank expression I couldn't quite decipher. They were the ones who had invited us over for dinner to celebrate the deal my husband had signed with Harry's production company.
Oh.
Why is she acting like that? I wondered. But honestly, I wouldn't let her ruin what was one of the happiest moments of our lives. A few months ago, we'd been living in a cramped studio downtown with 2 unpaid rents, and now we were having dinner with this big shot producer for a movie my husband would be writing. Every day, I woke up thanking God we had this before the baby was born. I was 7 months pregnant. If putting up with this woman looking at me like I was a zoo animal was the price for all this, then I'd gladly pay it. But things got weird when I, feeling nauseous, excused myself to go to the bathroom, as I had many times that night. As I was washing my hands to get back, I heard a knock on the door. "Yeah, I'm leaving," I called out to whoever was on the other side. When I opened it, it was Tanya. She stood there, glancing over her shoulder as if checking for anyone. "You need to get out," she whispered like she was sharing a secret, "or they'll take your baby." Before I could even ask what, she turned around and walked back to the room where our husbands were. I sat back at the table uneasy. What did she mean? Did I hear her correctly? Across from me, Tanya focused on the men's conversation, avoiding eye contact, pretending she hadn't just said what she did. Minutes passed in silence between me and her, while the men's discussion grew louder as they drank more. "This is really a special moment," Harry said to my husband in an emotional voice. "I remember when Tanya was pregnant, she was the most beautiful." Harry then awkwardly placed his hand over hers. She responded with a half smile. "What happened?" I blurted out, curious after the whole bathroom incident. They exchanged glances, and I saw my husband look away, uncomfortable. Harry opened his mouth to answer, but Tanya spoke first. "I lost it," she said, locking eyes with me before shifting her gaze to her husband. But I guess it was worth it. Her face was a mix of cynicism and sadness. Harry quickly got up and asked her to help him set the dessert from the kitchen. She followed without protest. Something about all this set off a strong alarm in my mind. And it got worse when I heard a heated whispering argument erupt between Tanya and Harry in the kitchen. And my husband's reaction was the worst. He sat right beside me, silent, and wore the most guilty, ashamed face I'd ever seen in my life. That's when the doorbell rang. Harry came sprinting out of the kitchen to open it. An old grumpy-looking man stepped in, and I knew who he was. Because my husband had described him before. It was the movie's director. Harry and my husband treated him like a king, showering him with praise and filling his wine glass, but he remained stone-faced. The only moment of joy I witnessed was when he greeted me and noticed my belly. His lips stretched into a broad grin that sent chills down my spine. "You never told me he was coming," I whispered to my husband. "Oh, he and the crew were nearby and decided to stop by. It won't take long." "But I really wanted to leave now," I continued, trying to be polite. "I'm not feeling well." "I promise we'll go right after dessert," he said, with a drunken smile. "Everyone talks about Tanya's cheesecake." Dessert was the last thing on my mind now. My anxiety grew as more and more people started coming through the door. The costume designer, the head of makeup, the VFX director, even a few of the actors. They all started showing up one by one. They greeted each other, then turned to look at me like I was the main star of some twisted movie playing out in this house. Then Tanya came back from the kitchen, carrying a tray of small plates for the crew. I could see in her face she despised them. But mine was brought by Harry himself, who carried the plate carefully like it was some precious treasure. As he placed it in front of me, I felt every eye in the room shift towards me. Silence settled. I looked at the cheesecake. It did look good. But I was certain now there was something more in it. I definitely shouldn't eat it. "I'm a bit unwell right now," I said. "Maybe I'll eat it later." "Honey, at least give it a bite," my husband said, while Harry stood in front of us waiting. "Just not that hungry. Can we take it home instead?" The tension in the room was suffocating. My husband's demeanour shifted instantly, his expression darkening as he gripped my arm. "Honey, don't be rude," his face a mix of menace and desperation. "Eat the cake. These people are helping us." That answer was proof he knew very well about whatever was going on. I hesitated, staring at the plate for a few seconds, my mind racing. But before I could speak, Tanya placed a firm hand on my shoulder. "She's just having a wave of nausea," she said, her voice calm. "I'm sure I remember how bad it felt. I'll just take her to the bathroom 1 second to freshen up." Harry wasn't happy, but he sighed and nodded. "Fine, but be quick." Tanya helped me up, keeping her grip steady as we walked hand in hand towards the hallway. The moment we were out of sight, she pulled a car key from her pocket and pressed it into my palm. "Take my car," she whispered. "It's parked outside, second on the left." "What about you?" "They already took everything I had." Her eyes welled with tears. "I'll be fine. Just go, now." I followed her into the bathroom where she locked the door behind us and helped me jump through the window. Ran to the spot she pointed at as fast as a 7 months pregnant woman could.
Yeah.
My hands trembled as I fumbled with the key, but as soon as the engine roared to life, I floored it. In the rearview mirror, I saw the house shrinking in the distance, while my phone buzzed with calls from my husband.